Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. I really appreciate you taking out time to check out this video. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Helps us out a lot and is greatly appreciated. But enough of that. So, I've done a lot of Nintendo games, and I've purposely strayed away from a lot of the first party games, not because they're not going to be on here, just because I wanted to kind of spread them out. But then it gets hard because Nintendo has so many hits, especially on the Super Nintendo. There's a lot of gems and classics and just wonderful games on that system. And one of the games that I really enjoyed back in the day was a game that I thought initially I would not like. And that is the legendary Starfox games. Now, speaking of the legendary Starfox game, the first one on the SNES, right? Now, the reason why I said I didn't think I was going to like it is the first time I played this is I rented it. And at the video store that I used to go to, they had all of these hit games, right? This is where I first played Super Mario RPG. This is where I first played Mega Man X, like just to give you an idea of what we were working with like this. And you know what I'm saying? If you know about quality video stores, we're not talking about Blockbusters, because Blockbusters will give you the hits, right? But we're talking about your local video store. And they just had all of these great games. And so I would play all of these games like Mystical Ninja, and I would see Starfox there, and it was like almost always there. So in my mind, that means the game is not good. There's no way the game could be good if it's always there. You know, I go in and Mega Man X would be gone. Mario RPG would be gone. Mystical Ninja would be gone. Starfox is always there. And then I looked at the back of the game and I saw the 3D graphics and I was like, I don't know if we're there yet. You know, I was one of those people that was very hesitant to start playing the 3D games because I always just felt like they didn't look good. And so I'm like, all right, let me give this a shot. And, you know, it's fantastic. Like, going back to play this for this video, I just realized that like this series does not get the respect and love that it should in comparison with some of the other Nintendo, you know, mainstays, right? So like obviously Mario has always gotten his due. And I always felt like The Legend of Zelda has always gotten, you know, as much acclaim as it could get. But, you know, Starfox was always in that, like, I just don't hear people talking about it enough. And not saying that it you know, people don't recognize how good it is. It's just, this game is fantastic. Like, jumping back into this game, there's so many things from a presentation standpoint. Like, this is one of the first games you hear voice acting in, especially from Nintendo side. Now, this isn't fully voice acted like the 64 version, but, you know, we're talking about a whole new level of gaming with the 64 going from the Super Nintendo, especially with the 3D graphics. But just on the SNES, just hearing that Golok at the beginning of the game, it's just, I mean, for me, that was all, that's something that we say till this day. That's how influential that particular line was, because you hadn't heard it in that type of game. And then just how smooth the game moves. I forgot to put it on inverted, so some of my flying may be off just a tad. I forgot that I play on inverted, but you know, we live and we learn. It's been a minute. It's been probably at least a decade and a half since I touched a Starfox game. Not because I don't like them, it's just that, I mean, there's so many games that have come out, and you know, I didn't have a Nintendo system a lot of times. So this game, I mean, you got multiple paths, which again is something else that I didn't see in games prior to this game, is having alternate routes to the end of the game. You know, essentially you have your normal, I guess, hard and very hard, because the game isn't easy. I don't care what nobody tells you about Starfox. It is a lot of things, and great is one of them. Easy is not one of them. Yes, it does start off, you know, like most games. Nintendo likes to, you know, get you feeling confident, make you feel strong. And then as you start to progress, you start to see really quick that they are out to kill you, you know. And just dealing with all of the things that have come on screen, like, you know, this was almost, at least for me back in the day, this was my version of a bullet hell, was playing Starfox on the hard path, because there's so many things on the screen, you know, and you can lose yourself, and you can all of a sudden get into what I like to call a chain reaction, where you get hit by one thing, which leads to another thing, which leads to another thing, which leads to the camera zooming out as you die. But, you know, Starfox is known for so many good things, and it's like, for me, it's the original, I would say, non-side scrolling space shooter, right? Because everything else was like R-Type, Gradius, Darius twins, those type of games. Everything was from that side view. This one changed it. You even have stages where you're in the cockpit, then it switches views. Like, there's just so many things visually in the game where graphically they were very limited, but they made it work. You know, in Nintendo fashion, they got the most out of this Super Nintendo. You know, you got your teammates, you got Slippy, the young bull. You know, we got Peppy, the old grouch, and then we got your the 1B who always looking in your shadow, Mr. Falco. So I rented the game. I finally tried it out, and I was like, oh, I have been missing out. What was I waiting for? And I remember when it was time to pick between the PlayStation and the 64, I did pick the PlayStation. And one of the reasons was my cousins Corey and O'Brien had a 64 with Starfox already. So I had got a chance to enjoy it. And I was like, you know, if I need to play it, it's right there. So I always really enjoyed it. And I mean, there's so many things I can say about the series as a whole, but just the first game blew me away in the best way possible. Like, it's one of those games when I started playing, and you know it's good when there are people in the room with you and you're not saying anything, and they're not saying anything. Everybody's just watching, and they want to see, can you make it through? You know, do you got what it takes? Can you pull it out? Are you really Fox McCloud, or are you out here pretending to be, you know, the ace pilot? And the levels, I mean, the progression of it, the boss, I wish I could have got to Andros so I could show him spitting Legos at me, but you know, you gotta be ready in order to make it through Starfox. Like I said, even on the regular difficulty, it's not an easy feat, but I really enjoyed this game. It's a classic. I don't even need to ask if you enjoy it. I just want to know what your favorite levels are. You know, what do you remember? Did you get to Andros? First and foremost, did you get to him? And then did you beat him? And if so, I'd love to hear your stories about it. As always, appreciate you checking out the video. Have fun. Be safe. Good Lord.